Almost all of Germany's landscape has been affected by war, whether it be the physical damage to the infrastructure or psychological damage to the people that live there. The different approaches taken to pick up the pieces are clearly shown in the German cities of Munich and Berlin.
About 75% of Munich was pretty much, heavily destroyed.
All along you see here, it's all reconstructed. There was almost nothing here. You could look from here over to the next block because it was nothing left here.
The city of Munich made the decision to rebuild the historical buildings that formed their city center.
But I doubt there was ever a question, let's start with a new modern city because it's not Munich.
Munich St. Peter's Church is one example of the detailed historical reconstruction taking place in the city.
It had a cannonball lodged in the side of the building from a war with the Austrians. When the city was being rebuilt, they put it back exactly where it was.
Another example is the Residence Palace, which was almost completely destroyed during the war.
It's all reconstructed, what you see.
But how was Munich able to restore all of these buildings? In a strange turn of events, Adolf Hitler actually played a large part in helping reconstruct the city.
She sent around thousands of photographers around the city before the bombings actually took place to photograph all the buildings so they could actually recreate it exactly how it looked.
The people of Munich didn't want to completely ignore that the war had happened.
The city intentionally left a lot of the damage visible, so, as a reminder.
The Alte Pinakothek contains the most evidence of the damage of the war.
When you stand at one side of it, it basically just goes right down in the middle, and they use completely different colored bricks.
Sometimes, the traces of war go unnoticed, even by the citizens of Munich. There is more to the buildings of Ludwigstrasse than it appears.
Munich people, they all think it's a neoclassicistic street. There are Nazi buildings put into this street.
Although Munich was severely damaged during the World War II bombings, Germany's capital, Berlin, was completely leveled.
After World War II, the entire city was destroyed.
There had been two different kinds of rebuilding and reconstruction. The way it was done in the east, the other way how the city was rebuilt in the west.
A lot of Berlin was actually competitions rebuilding the city. In the east, then they built the TV tower saying, look what we have.
This western part should become the showcase of Western civilization.
Along with the division of the city, the attitude towards rebuilding Berlin were also split.
The west was completely like, we have an entire new city to rebuild, we can do whatever we want with it. The east kept a lot of the old buildings, but they also didn't have a lot of money. A lot of the buildings still need to be redone because they were so quickly built.
As Berlin has been the capital of 5 different regimes, its people pride themselves on their ability to adapt to change. Diversity is what Berliners see as their defining quality, and this diversity is seen in the architecture throughout the city.
It's just a mix.
There's the Kaiser Wilhelm Church, still left over from the war.
There's a massive hole in the ceiling from a bomb to show, this is what war does, this is bad. You'll see Potsdamer Platz, or it's modern, it's new. They're so used to the drastic changes that they really embrace it.
The history of Munich and Berlin and the differing attitudes of the people who live there are reflected in each city's infrastructure. This is their history. This is who they are.